I would love Dundee United to appoint Daniel Stendel, but I think more realistically, I mean, Craig Levein is the favourite in with the bookies. I think Dundee United fans have been pretty split on it. There's a lot of nostalgia about his first spell. He was obviously successful there. Then there's a lot of pragmatism. He's not been particularly great since then, and he's obviously not been a particularly great success at Hearts. I think if they're looking at Levein, I think the more realistic possibility and probably the more sensible one would maybe have him in a director of football role, which is obviously what he did with Neilson, and have him over a coach. Now, I was told, well, I heard the rumours, let's say, that before Neilson got the job, that Barry Robson was actually in the mix. And I noticed this time he's actually with the bookies as well. Now, he's got good coaching experience at Aberdeen. There's a strong consensus, actually, that he's been groomed to be the next Aberdeen boss. Let's be honest, it's not going to be an expensive option, which at the moment you must imagine Dundee United's thinking. He's got enough contacts in Scottish football, get a decent few loan signings should they need them. Even if it's not him, I think the likelihood is it's someone going to be similar to him. I don't see them taking a risk on someone like Sava Laszlo or trying to pay out compensation to land somebody. Lee McCulloch's another option. I presume he's still in the coaching staff there. I presume Neilson's not going to be taking him to Tynecastle. I don't know if his Kilmarnock stint goes against him, but a Craig Levein as a director of football over a Barry Robson or Lee McCulloch, I think is probably likely what we're going to see.
That's a really interesting point, actually, about Robson. I hadn't even considered that, but you'd think that would make perfect sense. And if he's been working well as a coach there, then that'd make excellent sense. James, to kind of flip that, if Dundee United are kind of coming into the Premiership, they're historically one of the biggest clubs in Scottish football. They haven't shied away from spending a fair chunk of cash in the Championship. Their owner doesn't shy away from his ambition of spending money and getting them up to where he thinks they should be. Could we see them go for a kind of more, ambitious appointment and, maybe even snapping up a Premiership manager? Tommy Wright's probably the most appropriate one since he's out of work, although it seems as though he's waiting to take the Northern Ireland job. Nothing's really confirmed on that front. Maybe he's one, but I'm thinking even maybe someone as lofty as like a Robinson at Motherwell or someone. Could we see United really, drop a few bags of cash here and makes that sort of statement?
I mean, I think Robinson would be mad to leave Motherwell for Dundee United personally, but I think that someone like Tommy Wright seems to me to be the obvious candidate. Like, okay, there's the whole Northern Ireland thing, we don't really know what's happening there, but if he was available, if they were able to get him, he would make a lot of sense. And that obviously he's a vastly experienced manager at this level. He's very much a safe pair of hands. And I know that you were writing in your newsletter the other week saying that you expect Dundee United to be up and in the top half of the table immediately, challenging for Europe and all that kind of thing. I would be a bit wary of that. I think that first and foremost for just about any promoted team, it has to be about avoiding relegation. And I don't think Dundee United will be in a relegation battle next season. But I think if you get someone like a Tommy Wright in, then you basically just. I think at that point you're pretty certain that you're not going to be involved whatsoever. I think actually his style of play would probably suit a lot of the players that Dundee United have as well. So if I was, in charge of United, that's what I'd be going for. I didn't realise that Craig Levein's name was being mentioned, and I wish you could have seen my face when you were talking, Andrew, because my eyes popped out of my head and my jaw dropped to the floor, because I can't imagine why anyone would consider giving Craig Levein a Premiership job at the moment, given what's happened. To be honest, like you sort of said, ever since Dundee United, what's he achieved? I don't know. I'm finding it difficult to pinpoint any grand successes that would encourage anyone to take a punt on him in any capacity. I mean, at Hearts, how many players have came in and out the door there, and how many have been poor signings, and that was under his watch. I think Dundee United should avoid him like the plague, to be honest. So yeah, I'll leave on that cheery note, I guess.
Do you want to respond to that, Andrew? I mean, I see where James is coming from, but take out the last 18, 24 months, and Craig Levein's stock was pretty high once upon a time, especially around Tannadice.
Yeah, I think Craig Levein's time as a manager certainly top top flight club, I think it's done. I think he's still got a lot of value to offer. I think a director of football role was fine, and I think he should have stayed as director of football role at Hearts. But yeah, I wouldn't be too. If I was a Dundee United fan, I wouldn't be too excited about Craig Levein coming. I think as well, we've got to look at what he did at Hearts. I mean, he just kind of the number of players he signed. Now, I don't know if they were spending big money bringing these players in, but it just kind of seemed to be I mean, at one point they signed, was it 17, 18 players one summer? Just to, fill the squad, and maybe only a handful of that were actually, relative success. You'd imagine you're trying to do the same at Dundee United. I don't know if that's really what they need. I don't know if they've really got the funds for that. So, I think he's all wrong for Dundee United. I think he's still got value to offer, but I don't think he should be the manager now.